about the joints have to be in alignment for it to function the right way. So welcome to the first senior yoga class, and the theme of today is going to be posture. And I have a handout for everybody. Everybody has it, and I told Bobby to tell everybody that you will need your glasses.
No, I can't see that.
Oh, you can't see, I'll read it for you, okay? All right, so I got a lot of this information from this book. Is this big enough words for everybody to read?
Yeah.
Aren't those kind of nice words right there? We love these words, okay? And what pain-free, and his whole philosophy, he's a movement therapist, basically. His whole philosophy is that if you don't have good posture, then you're gonna probably eventually be in pain. That's it, the net. And pain then creates tension, creates tightness, creates probably even more of a bounding, type of personality. And then of course, if you're misaligned, then you're gonna start to get into your joints the wrong way, and then arthritis is gonna set in. So he's all about making sure that our posture is stacked the way it's meant to be stacked, which is we have 8 load-bearing joints. That's the 2 shoulders, the 2 hips, the 2 knees, and the 2 ankles. And all of those, if you think about a structure of a building or whatever, everything's got to be so nice and vertical, and everything's great. Then it's easy. Then it's easy to sit up tall. Then it's easy to stand up straight. But if those things, those load-bearing joints are not stacked, then there's going to be compromise. And I really like this, this first graphic, you guys. Let's just look at what happens if we take our head out of alignment, ears, shoulders, right? Hips. If we take it out of alignment just a little bit forward, it's like we're carrying a 32-pound bowling ball.
I get my glasses.
Okay, yeah, it's worth it, really. So basically, the head weighs anywhere between 7 and 12 pounds. They're saying it's kind of the weight of a bowling ball. You just take that forward moving structure of that head just a little bit, and we've got 32 pounds we're carrying. What about if we even go further? Then it's 42 pounds. So why are our neck and shoulders tight? Oh my gosh. Because they now are becoming the load-bearing joints in our bodies. That's why. So we've got to get that neck and shoulder to line back up again. Now, how did they get there in the first place? Anybody have any idea? Yeah, movement. Yeah. Right.
Stress.
Stress, exactly. Worry, fear is kind of this kind of posture, right? But what pulled us this way? Our muscles did, right? The muscles pull the bones. So if we think well, our bones are this way. Okay, look at here, the spine. The bones are like that. What can you do about that? But the bones are basically pulled by the muscles. So what we got to do is we got to get these muscles to loosen up. That's what we have to do. And we do this a lot in yoga, don't we? We loosen the muscles up in all different kind of directions. So I want you to just take a moment and put this down because I want to show you something that I just thought was very eye-opening. Of what happens when our joints are kind of bound up or not in the right alignment. If we go like this, let's roll forward like we think, this is kind of that typical rounding forward. Take your arm out in front of you and see how far you can lift it up over your head. Right? You can't lift it up too much, right? So let's go like this. Take the shoulders up and back and down and around a couple times. Sit up as tall as you can be and then see what you can do with your arm. Look at that, amazing, amazing. So what they're saying most of the time is when we get a torn rotator cuff or some kind of shoulder injury, it's because we're in a bad posture to begin with and we're trying to reach to that top shelf. And all of a sudden this shoulder joint can't go there. So everything about the joints have to be in alignment for it to function the right way. So that's why we're going to be standing against the wall. So I was the first guinea pig and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm sorry I did this. Because then I saw all of my problems, right? But this little graphic here is me standing one side, and then forward. And what I did is I put a line through it, and they're perfectly geometric because my computer does it that way. So I got the horizontal line and I got the vertical line. So what we're looking at, say we're going to look at this one here, the very first one. Do you see how I'm leaning forward? Do you see I'm slightly leaning forward? That is my stance normally, you guys. I have a little bit of that leaning forward. So what's going to happen to my knees? My knees are going to go back a little bit. They're going to hyperextend. And then that's going to start to jam that knee joint a little bit. So what I have to be aware of is going back on my heels a little bit, and then taking my structure back. Then if you look at the other side of me, I've got a right shoulder that rolls forward a little bit. So if you were to see me from the side view, you would see that right shoulder a tad forward, and we were talking about that I feel that this is because of all of the shifting I do in my car, all the computer work I do with my mouse, and just all this kind of stuff. So what, and Justine and James, they caught me one time, we were having dinner, and I was across from them, and they said, Sherry, it's so funny, when you get excited, you go like this. You go like this. And I'm like, I do? And they said, yeah. And I'm like, what? And it's like a weird motion, and I don't know what it is, right? And so it's like this arm's ready to do something, but I don't know what. So I have been so mindful of that. As soon as this thing starts to feel like that, I'm like, okay, all right, you're going down here. Even when I'm driving, if I'm not using the stick shift, I'm going, okay, you're going back here and catching that. So the other one I thought was very interesting. If you see my front view and you see the lines going in the middle, I hope you guys can see that. Do you see where my head is? What is going on with that? I was looking, I'm thinking, you know what, I guess I'm using my right brain a lot then. You know, I'm like really over to the right. But my body is symmetrical, which I thought was very interesting, because I took the line right up the center of me, right? That's what I wanted to make sure. And to see, and you can just see that one side, my head is completely to the other side.
Oh, yeah.
You see that?
Yeah. Your whole body is.
A little shifted to that right.
Yeah, right.
Because I'm right-handed and everything I'm doing is to the right.
Yeah,
Right?
so that's what your strengths are doing, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to offer everybody the opportunity to do this today if they want to. And I will take pictures of you, and I'll go back to my computer, and I'll draw the little lines, and I'll give each one of you those pictures so that you can see yourself. And I think this is important. Because look at, it catches me now with at least two things. One, I know I have to get back on my heels when I walk, so I don't hyperextend my knees. And then I want to make sure that I'm always doing this with my shoulder. And look at Christine's laughing. She's like, I don't want to see.
I don't want to see.
I don't want to see that. So,
I already know it's bad.
but no, this is what I want. This to me, you guys, is the before and after. This is the before for you guys, because in 6 months, I'm going to take a picture of you guys the same way, and I guarantee you, you will have changed your posture, because you will now have awareness of what you, particularly you and you have in your bodies, because we're not all the same, okay? And whatever we've done in the past, maybe broken bones or whatever, we'll be able to, we'll be able to catch those things. So I just want to show you this posture. This one's really important, because I know I say this so often. I always say, scoot up and away from your chair and sit up tall, right? Mm-hmm. I say that a lot, and I notice that people, it's hard for them to do. It's really hard. So I thought this was a really good graphic, because you can see this is Benita, and she's sitting, but look at her head, right? Her head is not lined up over her shoulder. She's got that thing going on, probably the middle one already. So she's going to have this tight neck and shoulder thing. But even though she doesn't scoot herself forward, like I tell you to, she still was able to take her head back and line it up over her shoulders. And it's not this motion, okay? It's not this motion. It's this one. Remember, we've done this one before, you guys? We take the fingertip to the chin, and we push back. Right? Push back. And then we go slightly down, just a little bit. And I know Paula does that in a different way. She does like the swooping, right? So this is going to take that ear over the shoulder. Now, it might not line up perfectly, because, again, we're working on our posture. We're bringing the awareness there. But we're going to need that adjustment. Now, that's going to be a hard one to hold. So I showed you, this is the one you can do at home, okay? This one, you just take a regular chair. It's got to have a nice straight back, and you sit against the wall and see if your head touches. Remember I talked about the headrest push, right? When you're driving in the car and you want to take your head and push it back. That's the sensation you want to have when you're doing this. And maybe at first just 1 minute, because it's going to be pretty intense. But what you're doing now is you're letting gravity now take the structure of your body and put it in perfect alignment. Look at how nice that is when you can sit in perfect alignment with gravity. You're not going to be doing it standing. And that's why some of these things sitting down and in the chair are going to help you. So let's just turn around, and these are going to be your homework assignments. So if you really want to get some nice posture adjustments, if you do these a couple of times a week, maybe even once a day, look at sitting against the wall. Does anyone think they can sit against the wall like this? This is a downward facing dog, isn't it? Mm-hmm. The shape of a down dog. Mm-hmm. It's really stretching the backs of your legs. But look at how it's taking your hips, making them level, because hopefully the earth is level, right? So even though some people might have one hip higher than the other, sitting down like that, make the hips level. It's going to make the shoulders then drop. Everything's going to be lined up. That's what you want. You want to have all your weight-bearing joints in that vertical line. And if that one's really hard, and I tell you it's going to probably be a little stretch for your hamstrings, this one's the other option. This one's really good. We do this when we're laying on the chair, right? When we have our legs up the chair. Our back is nice and flat. And this, again, gravity is gonna allow that whole spine to get straight. And that's what we want. If we're like this, how are we gonna get the back straight? We can do this as much as we can, but that's gonna be hard. That's gonna be hard. If we just do those passive poses that just take us and really use gravity to straighten our backs. We're gonna go to the high, come on in.
Is it too late?
No, come on in. Come on
Sorry.
in. We're gonna come to the wall. This one's gonna be an eye-opener for everybody. We're gonna come to the wall and we're gonna make sure, right now, even you guys do that, I want you to take one hand and see if you can go behind you and there's a little bit of space there in the back of your back, a little arch, okay? That's what you wanna have. You need to have that little bit of arch. So when we go to the wall, we're gonna test and we're gonna see if we have that arch. If we don't, then I'm gonna give you a couple adjustments to get you that arch back. And then we'll do some arm movements, right? So we saw before that if the back and the line and the necks are all lined up, we can do this. We can go all the way up. Let me see everybody go all the way up again. We should be able to take the back of our hands against the wall when we're standing up. We're gonna try that. And if we can't do that, then we're gonna make some adjustments and see how slowly we can get that posture to happen, okay? And then the last thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna talk about this a little bit later, but I'm actually gonna demonstrate it for you because it's a real fun thing. So basically, that's kind of the lecture part of class to help you understand what we're gonna be working on today. So why don't you put your papers down? And we're gonna actually do some movements to kind of support what we're gonna be doing with our bodies in terms of good posture. So I want everybody to close your eyes and welcome, my dear, welcome.
Thank you, Sherry. Sorry, we're late.
No worries, I know. Okay, so close your eyes, everybody. I want you to sit back. I want you to soften your face, separate your teeth, let all the facial muscles release. And I do want you to feel the support of the chair. Now, without you looking, I want you to imagine that your feet are nicely parallel, your ankles are underneath your knees. Feel free to readjust now because I'm telling you that I want to get it nice and strong and straight. And just imagine you've got that 90-degree angle between your thighs and your calves and your ankles, like a little zigzag. And then take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Exhaling out the mouth. Take a deep breath through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's do one more. Inhale and exhale. Now turn the palms facing up on your laps. Just kind of notice what that does. It rolls the shoulders back just a little bit. Notice your head. What do you think your position of your head is? Do you think that your ears are over your shoulders? This is where you get a little inner awareness. And then see if you can do that little rooster neck. Remember, if your head juts forward and then your head juts back. And do that a few times, just kind of feeling what that feels like. Like, oh wow, I actually can go back a little bit with my head. And the next time your head is back just a wee bit, I want you to tuck your chin down. So now we've got a little bit better alignment and we're going to stretch the back of our neck. Place your palms now flat on your laps. And then gently take your right ear to the right shoulder. I want you to drape your left arm down to the floor, so you're just kind of letting it go off your lap. Let it hang down like it's weighted, like a sinker. And then I want you to make a small circle with your arm so that it's like your middle finger is making a circle about 2 inches. So what this is doing is it's not moving the wrist, it's not moving the elbow, it's moving the shoulder joint. So around and around in the ball and socket, and then roll it the opposite way. 2, 3, maybe a little bit bigger as you start to warm up. So this is what's gonna help our shoulders get a better range of motion. And then we're gonna come back, palm to the left, chin comes down, we're gonna take it to the other side. Left ear, left shoulder. Right arm dangles down. Remember, you want to keep that everything kind of loose, but the elbows are straight, and then you do the circle. You might be running into the side of the chair, so feel free to kind of take it out a little bit if you are. And then circle to the other side. And then bring it back to the side. And then bring your chin back to the center. And now take your head to the right again. This time I want you to take your left arm out to the side, shoulder height. And then turn your palm up and lift your chin up. And then turn your palm down and lift your chin down towards the right armpit. So now we're getting the shoulder and the arm to move in sync. So inhale, we're up with the palm up. And exhale, we're tucking the chin down. And you might think, like, what does this have to do with posture, right? Well, it's allowing the shoulder joint to gain its mobility again. And then one more time. And then we'll slowly bring it to the center and we'll take it to the left. Left your left shoulder. Right arm out. When the palm turns up, the head lifts up a little bit. And when you exhale, the palm goes down and your head goes down towards the armpit. So you're just lifting up and rolling down. Notice what's going on in your shoulder socket. Look at that, almost like a half circle movement. So frozen shoulder is a very common thing. It happens when we just lose that connection to the movement and then come all the way back down. When your chin is back down, you're going to gently lift your head up and open your eyes. Now you're going to take one hand to one shoulder, the other hand to the other shoulder, and we're going to alternate one shoulder and then the other shoulder. And one shoulder and the other shoulder. And now let's see if we can smoothly, like we're rowing a boat. And see if you can pay attention to the scapula in the front and the bones in the back. It's two collarbones. Oh, I am popping and clicking. Crazy. Here we go. And then go forward. Oh, moving these joints, moving around.
You have a percussion band.
Yeah, exactly. And then bring the arms all the way out. Big, long stretch. Good. Now let's watch this rotation. Bring it up, all the way, palms up. And then bring it down. And what about taking the thumbs down and the palms back behind us? Look at that rotation. Good. Bring it all the way up, palms up. Maybe even back a little bit. And then all the way down and all the way up. Very good. And then release it and roll the shoulders. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that the shoulder can move like this. Everybody, let me see everybody. You know that I love this kind of movement. These are multi-directional movements, right? And then forward a little bit. Okay, so what happens a lot in life, you guys, is that we're restricting this shoulder from doing the thing it's supposed to do. So I want you to do something here. I want you to take your hand out in front of you, and I want you to roll your palm up and roll it down. And look at, wow, the thumb can even go down a little bit, right? So watch, it goes up like that, just like we did to the side, and it rolls down. And the reason why you can do that is because the shoulder is moving that way, right? The shoulder is moving that, helping that arm move. Now, what happens when we go like this to the side of us? Hug that elbow back inside and see if we can do that same range of motion. We can't, can we? Right. And it's almost like we can't hardly get the palm flat sometimes, right? So think about when we're working on the computer or when we're working and doing some things that are limiting our motion. We are doing so much work now with the fingers and the wrist that this elbow's not getting involved. So if we were to just take the arm out and look at how much more flexibility we have to do something with our hands, right? So you got to get the shoulder to move. And I think, I know I have that problem because I work on the computer a lot, but let's do the other hand. The same idea, right? So if let's snug it in first and just see our rotation. You can't get that thumb down. There's no way that thumb's going to roll, right? So it goes like this. And then if we take it out, look at how much rotation we have. That thumb can go down, it could roll up. So that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that we're always using our joints the way they were meant to use. And so much of life is linear. We've talked about that before. Everything is like straight on, and we want to make everything fluid. Okay, so let's do some of our arm movements. Let's take the right arm all the way up. Let's see how far we can reach up, you guys. Oh, beautiful. Yeah, and then bring it down. Let's bring the left arm all the way up. There you go. Good. And bring it down. Now let's see if we can take the palm facing towards me. So this is a little different rotation. Good. Good. And then down. And then the other. And then down. Now let's take both arms up like this. Very good. Into cactus arms. Roll the shoulders back a little bit. That's that squeezing motion you should feel in your shoulder blades. And then bring them together. And then we're going to roll them back. Good. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Good. And then bring them back together. And then the last one, this is the one we're going to do at the wall. So I want you guys to remember what this feels like. The arms are in cactus, and we're slowly dropping the elbows down and down towards the waist. So what we're doing is we're taking the whole shoulder girdle and we're bringing it down away from the ears. And then we come forward. And then we put our hands down. And then you can even sit back and you can still feel how your shoulder blades are nice and ground it on your back. So close your eyes and just see if your posture feels a little bit straighter. What about your head? Notice your head. Do we need to push it back just a little bit? And gently open your eyes. Good. Now we're going to do picking fruit. So picking fruit is a lot of shoulder movements. We've seen that before. So if you want to scoot up, feel free to do that. If not, we're going to do it with the left arm first. So here we go, left arm. We're going to reach up, pick the fruit, bring it in, take it out to the side, and we're going to drop it in the basket. Good. Come back in. Reach up, look up this time. Get the neck involved in this movement. Bring it back in, out to the side, and drop it in the basket. Okay, other arm, right arm, reach up. Bring it in, out to the side, drop it in the basket. Good, here we go. Reach, bring it in, out to the side. Good, drop it in the basket. Okay, now out in front. So here we go. Reach, bring it in front, give it away. Reach, in front, give it away. And other side, reach it, bring it in, out in front, palm is up, give it away. And here we go, reach, bring it in, out in front, and give it away. Okay, since Justine is here, I'm gonna show off, okay? You guys know what you're gonna do, okay? One arm's gonna go out first, and the other arm's gonna go forward first. So here we go, both arms are gonna come up, and then we're gonna bring it in. One goes out, one goes forward. Where are your palms? One, the front one, and the back one. Good. Yeah, you got it. Okay, good. Bring it in. There we go. Reach it, bring it in, opposite way. Watch where your palms are. Yay, look at that. Okay, good. Now we're gonna do both. Reach, bring it in, out to the side, drop it, bring it back in. Reach, bring it in, out in front. Give it away. Very good. One more. Reach, bring, now we gotta pick it up. Uh-oh, we dropped it. Pick it up. All right, bring it in. Good, one more time. Reach it, pick it. Oops, we dropped it. Back, and release it. Good, now shake it out. And Polly, you're never here when I make fun of you, so I'm gonna make fun of you when you're here, okay? I said, we're gonna do Paula's pose. Here we go. Open, close, open, close, open, close. And we're gonna do this for the next 15 minutes. Keep going. Open, close, open, close, open, close. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh. You gotta open up the doorknobs, right? And the jars. Oh, yeah. Oh, then shake it out. Oh, gosh. So all of our joints, they need to move like this. This is what's gonna keep everything fluid. And shake it over here. Shake it over here, shake it over here. Now, without anybody moving, I want you to look down and see your alignment. Uh-oh, I'm a little crooked, you're a little crooked. This gentleman's, yeah, see?
Yeah.
So this is what we, by default, this is where we land. So we have to be mindful of that, because if we're not aware, then we might be walking like this, standing like this. So let's try to get it right. Let's get the ankles underneath the knees, toes facing forward, kneecaps facing forward. Very good. All right, so now we're gonna do a little twisting. So let's do, let's do this one. This one's a good one. Let's take the left hand out, make a fist, the thumb is up, and then we're gonna go out one finger at a time. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way back. Look at your thumb, and now we're coming back in, opposite finger. So we're gonna go 4, 3, 2, 1, and back to the center. Look at your thumb. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, big stretch. Back in, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, other arm. Take a fist, looking at the thumb. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. As far as you can, so you get a little opening there. And then 4, 3, 2, and 1. When you're back to the center, we'll go out again. 2, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And back. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now, both hands, you're gonna keep looking straight forward, okay? So here we go, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do a little back bend. So lift up, oh yeah, open up, and then backwards, pinkies first, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, and last time, 1, 2, 3, 4. A little heart opener, and then back, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very good, and then shake it out. And then take your feet and shake it out. So in one of the pictures, one of my my alignment of my feet, I have my right foot out a little bit. And I had a chiropractor tell me that my foot is slightly pronated, which means one foot is slightly out. This is a little exaggeration, but that's what it does. So I've been trying to be aware of that. I'm like, okay, let me try to line up my feet. But you know what? It doesn't work very easily. So I want you to take your left leg up like this, left leg up like this, and I want you to straighten your leg and then bend it. And I want you to look, do you see your knee, your ankle, and your toes all in alignment? For me, that toe is out slightly to the side. Everybody notice? Okay, I just want you to see your own alignment. And then you take it up with the other leg, and I want you to be looking, right? This is what you're paying attention now. You're walking knee, ankle, and toes. This one I'm fine, my toes are facing right up.
One's better than the other.
Right, and that's the same with me.
I see that.
So, okay, so what happens, and when I have my legs up the wall, in some of those pictures too, one is slightly out. So I've been going, okay, but just get back in. Just get back in, and it won't go back in. And the reason, I read in this book, it's because the joint is not allowing me to do that. Even though my mind says, get back where you belong, he says you've got to loosen up the joint before it's going to move. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to lift up the leg, and the reason we're lifting up the leg is we don't want the knee and the hip to get involved, and it's only the ankle, and it's 10 times around, and that's a lot. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and it almost a blast off, right? Okay, go the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And shake that. Was anybody watching their feet to see if their range of motion is different one way or the other? I want you to watch it on the other side because it probably will be. So just keep an eye on this, okay? This whole session is all about your posture. You're just checking everything out. So we're going to twirl this one around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then we go 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Oh, and I lost it. Sometimes it's really hard to concentrate on that movement, right? Because we're on automatic pilot. We don't do that very often, okay? So let's take the feet up and just point and reflex them a little bit. So think about the fact that we have these 8 load-bearing joints, and look at those beautiful ankles, what they have to hold, right? So if we are misaligned in any way, we're going to tax the shoulders, the hips, the knees, and the ankles in different ways. That's why it's all about making that perfect alignment. So what we're going to do now is we're going to actually go to the wall, okay? And I want you to pair up because I want somebody to be the eyes when you're standing against the wall. So just look around and find a partner, and we're going to go to the wall, and we're going to check our posture at the wall. You don't have to be super tight, okay? Lean back and see first what's touching, okay? So are the calves touching? Is the butt touching?
Are the heels supposed to?
The heels can go all the way back or maybe just an inch away, depending on what you feel you need in order to be touching.
The butt's touching the.
The heels can touch if you want to, or you can, if you feel, okay, Anita, if you feel like you're tipping over, then bring your heels in a little bit forward. Yeah, okay? So now I want you to, with the partner, I want the partner to see what's touching and see if your head is touching. If your head is touching, is your chin parallel to the floor?
No.
Right.
And it hurts.
Right.
It hurts.
Right. So let's do this. Look at this, you guys. If your chin is not touching, come forward. Do this little rooster thing.
Straight on my back.
Take your rooster head and take it in and out a couple times. In and out. See if that makes a difference.
Yeah, you have to do the rooster head.
Talk a little bit, and if your head doesn't touch, that's just a notice. Okay? Don't force it. So your chin is way too high. Yeah. Tell her that. Yeah. Perfect. Good. All right, now switch partners. Switch partners.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other partner. Notice what's touching. Can you see there's a little back bend? You can see there's a little gap in their back? Your calves are not touching? That's okay.
I need bigger calves.
You need bigger calves, okay. But we got an arch back here? Your chin is good. See? Nice. Your chin is good. Your chin is good. All right. Were you good too? Let me see. Yeah, so that's a little bit forced, isn't that? Yeah, relax, let me see your normal, okay? All right, I see what you're doing. All right, you guys, here we go. Now, we're gonna go first partner, and we're going to go one arm in cactus arm. See if we can take one arm in cactus arm, 90-degree angle, see if the back of the hand will rest on the wall. If not, don't force it, I just want you to notice. And Anita, take that elbow down, yeah. Good. Okay.
I can't get my hand back there.
Okay, other arm, other arm.
That one's. Oh.
Yeah, don't force it, but we'll just notice this side, okay? All right, now what we're gonna do, you guys? Now, one arm all the way up. Let's see the back of the hand. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, yeah. Limit. Okay, good. You got it. Okay, other arm up. This. Okay. Right. Okay. Switch. All right. I got it. You know. Your shoulders, right? We're limited. Yeah. Over your waist. All right, so how do you do it? Remember, it's going to be one cactus arm first and up with the elbow just a little. Yeah, good. All right. Very good.
You're good.
Yeah,
She does good.
Yeah, she does. You got it. And you've got your forearm touching, doesn't it? Yeah, because most people don't have that. Okay, good. All right. And so, Pat, do you see the same thing? Your forearm is not touching. No. Right. Yeah. No. And what do you feel is stopping you from doing that? Yeah.
No, not, just a trapezius muscle.
Okay. What about this shoulder then? Yeah, so if you were to go like this, you'd be fine. Right, okay, so yeah. So
What it does is, what I'm trying to understand, I'm trying to understand.
Right, so you're overcompensating, right? So you're just trying to do this head thing and then you're doing the back arch. So you've got to get all of your joints to stack up the right way, then your head's going to be here. Right now, you're overcompensating by doing this. You almost like doing the back bend. Yeah, you're right, and that's not what we want to do. That's why all those poses laying down flat. Gravity's going to take it and make you straight. Instead of you trying with all your muscle effort to do that. Because you're not going to be able to get your shoulders back. Just through the will.
Yeah.
Right? You're gonna work on it on the floor.
Where do I go?
Take one arm up. Okay, you guys, one arm up. Remember the back of the hand? Okay, and then the other one. Paula. Okay, so that one's not bad. It's your cactus. And it seems like your wrist is kind of bearing that. See how your wrist is doing that? We just want this. This. Let me just see. Straight fingers.
I feel like
Yeah. That's not bad though. You've got the whole arm that's totally against the wall. So I don't get comfort issues. Okay, and then bring it down. All right, everybody.
Isolating.
All right, so come back to the chair. All right, so. Right. Now, how many people are depressed right now? Exactly. It's like bummer.
All my life I've been wrong.
Right. You know, so this is now the eye opener. It's the eye opener. And it's like, okay, now we're going to work on the areas where we see that we have a little bit of our limitations. Okay? And the number one thing, as I was mentioning, is it Jan? Jan. There's no way that you're going to be able to do all those things just by your sheer power. I'm going to do it. Because then you're going to hurt yourself. I don't want you to do that. I want you to take your time and you're going to do some of these poses at home. Most of them are passive. Most of them are just laying. What? Pardon?
If you're 80 years old?
Yes, and you're not 80 yet anyway.
76.
Yeah. Because we're working with muscles. Okay, we're working with muscles. Muscles wrap around the bones and they force the bones to go in a certain way. If we can start to slowly let those muscles stretch, let the fascia stretch. You know, remember we talked about fascia. If we let that stretch a little bit, those bones will start to loosen up a little and find their natural place. Your body wants and begs for the natural place. It really does. So that's why all those passive poses that you have to hold for 5 minutes. One reason, because fascia takes a longer time to stretch. And the second is that gravity's doing all the work for you, right? You're laying down. And the other thing is, I know some of you don't like to get on the floor. The more you don't get on the floor, the more you can't get on the floor, right? So do this at home, in the comfort of your own home, and just slowly, slowly, I guarantee you will start to improve. Let's be optimistic about that. You definitely will. Okay, go on the floor. Go on the floor. Okay, so the other thing now I want to do is, and put a chair next to you, exactly. Okay, so now this is the other homework assignment you guys are going to do. You're going to take a marker, which cannot be permanent, otherwise you'll have a permanent tattoo. And what you're going to do, okay, you're going to, look, everyone look at their feet now, and kind of flex your feet, and there are 2 bones that come down right in the middle of your ankle. If you can flex, maybe you can find those 2 bones. There's a gap right in between that, maybe you can put your finger there. That is where you're going to put the circle. So I'm going to put the big circle there, and the other one goes right in here. Okay, so everybody see that? That is the middle of my ankle. Okay? Then we are going to do that to the kneecap. So some of you ladies, I know you have tighter pants and that might be hard. You don't have to do it because you're going to do this at home. Okay? There is that rounded bone that covers your kneecap, and that's your patella, and you're going to kind of pull it away a little bit, and you're going to draw a circle right in the middle of that. Okay, so it's going to be there. You know where I'm going with this, don't you?
In the bone or right?
Right in the middle of the kneecap.
Not
The bone?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, right on the round bone, that's the patella, so right smack in the middle of that bone. That's where you want it, okay? And then you stand in front of the mirror.
Yeah, you want to see if they're lined up.
Mm-hmm.
That one that goes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so, and even when I'm sitting here, so remember I talked about when you're sitting, if we're like this, right? This etches into us. It's like automatic pilot, and if you're just kind of hanging like this, you're probably going to stand like this, and you're probably going to start walking like this. So, in yoga class, try the best always to try your alignment to get it all lined up. Okay, so let's just see. How is Sherry looking today, okay? I've been working on this, you guys, because I'll tell you where my alignment's off. Okay, so here we go. You gotta go like this, okay? When you're in front of the mirror, you gotta do this, okay? Because you can't like be a soldier and then you just kind of like have to, okay. Here I go. What do I got? What's going on?
I can't see it.
Justine.
You've got that one.
Is this knee in?
Yes.
Yes,
This left knee is in.
rolling in a little.
Okay, now, watch this motion. Does that help it?
Yes.
Okay.
If
It did, right?
What did you do?
What did you do?
I squeezed my butt. I squeezed my butt. And I got that tip from this book. So what happens, this knee rolls in a little bit. And the reason is because I tweaked it one time, and so that muscle got tight, and because I didn't want to move it, right? So it got tight, and it kind of bounded me there. And so this whole leg is starting to move in a little bit, and this hip's starting to move in a little bit. So what this gentleman was saying is that, how do I get those knees to line up? I got to use my gluteus muscles. He said, think about when you sit down right now, you guys, your butt is going wide, isn't it? It's just going wide. There's nothing's going on, okay? That's why they call it secretarial spread, right? I'm sorry, that's what they used to call it. What you gotta do is you gotta take those gluteus muscles and you gotta pull them in. And as soon as I squeeze, like you have a little pen right here in your butt crack, it's kind of that feeling. As soon as I do that, then I get lined up again. And I'm not walking like this, okay? You're not gonna walk with my squeezed butt. It's not that. What I do is I do those little gluteus squeezes a few times in the morning. I'll do like 10 sets. I'll do a count of 10 and do 3 sets. And what he's suggesting is that you are not just strengthening those muscles, okay? You don't want them tight all the time, but you want them strong. So this is what I want you guys to do. If you're looking in the mirror and you find that you're more like this, which a lot of people could be like this a little bit, right? So the knees are in and the toes are out, so it's a little more like that.
Squeeze your butt.
No, you would squeeze with the block in the middle, and you want to bring yourself inward, right, to line up. So that's what your homework is. I want you to look in the mirror, and then we're going to talk one-on-one, and you tell me what you saw, and I can give you a couple of those little tips and tricks about what to do to help you
So
correct
to go
that.
out, you squeeze your butt, to go in, you do the block.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
And you'll be able to see that. So if you, even in the mirror, you can say like, oh, my knees are going out, or Maybe you're not so obvious like this, because this is obvious. But maybe when you're lined up, you still see this thing going out, and you're like, why is that happening? Even though my ankles look straight, if you just bring that block and start to squeeze, those knees will come to the center.
Sure.
And that,
Can you demonstrate?
yeah. So the first thing you would do is going this, right? And you would have the block in here, and you would just be squeezing. Squeeze, count to 10, squeeze, squeeze. It's the same idea about what I have to do to squeeze my butt. I'm strengthening these muscles. It's not like I'm walking around with these squeezed all the time. I'm strengthening them, counting to 10, then you stop, and then you do another set, and you do 3 sets of 10. And that starts to get the adductor muscles, these really nice, strong muscles on the inside and the outside to work. And I know that, Pat, you said balance is your challenge, but I guarantee you most of the time, you guys, balance is not because you're dizzy and you can't lose it. It's because your muscle strength is not there to hold you. And this muscle group right here and this outer muscle group is one of the most important parts of good balance. So even just doing this is going to help with your balance. So once you get that, and I think there was a pose in the handout that is this. This one is like the super deluxe one, because you're against the wall, right? You've got the support of the wall to get you straight, and then you're going to squeeze in here. And now what it's doing, this is telling the body, you know what, the shoulders don't have to bear all the weight all the time, because they do. Shoulders, if they're rolled forward like this, they're heavy and they're really bearing the weight of your stance. This way, the lower body's starting to work. It's starting to get strong. Your hips are getting strong, your hip flexors right here, your quads are getting strong, your legs, and you're squeezing a little bit. So now the whole lower part of your body is going to get strong. And that's what we want when we want to walk straight and walk erect. So now when we start to walk, you're going to be, maybe in the mirror you can start to walk and you can just see, does that toe turn out? How is that, the lining up look? Okay, so guys, it make sense?
Yeah.
Any you guys game for polka dots on you? Okay, good, because I can't wait. Can't wait to hear what everybody found out. Okay, so now we're going to do some standing postures. Okay, so stand on up, and we're going to do a downward facing dog. So downward facing dog, we saw the shape of it in our handout when you're sitting down on the floor, but we can do it here standing up. So I want you to walk back, you're bending your knees a little, because I don't want you overstretching the backs of your legs or your hamstrings. And then slowly, as you're pulling backwards, you're going to drop your head in between your arms. And isn't this that shoulder movement that we did when we were sitting down? Right? Isn't this the shoulder movement that we do when we're standing against the wall? Right? So it's the same idea. We're trying to take the shoulders, the hips, and the head all in that one alignment. Stretch it out. Let's take 2 big breaths here, so take a breath. Exhale, release, good, stretch. Take a breath. Exhale, release. Good, now look up at your thumbs, and we're gonna walk all the way up, all the way back up to the chair. Good. Okay, so just a little spinal movement, because we've been sitting a lot. So let's just do a couple cats and cows. Let's look at our alignment again. Just default with what you just did. Anybody notice that they're a little cattywampus? Okay, if you are, let's get it straight, right? Knees, ankles, toes facing forward. Stand up tall, good. And then we're gonna take it backwards a little bit, and then take it forwards a little bit. And you can bend your knees when you're coming forward, so just a little movement in the spine. Slowly stretching all the 3 curves. And then bring it back to the center. Okay, so let's take the right foot back behind us. So now we're going to do a little bit of balancing. Now I want you to notice what happened to the left foot. Do you feel that all the weight is still on the left foot? Okay, make sure you don't go out to the edges. Good. Now, opposite arm, so that's going to be the left arm. Good. Here's your balance. Can you feel the inner left thigh? That's the muscle that's holding you up. Okay, good. That's what I want you to keep track of, and then bring it down. Okay, so I already see somebody with a foot that's a little crooked. So I want you to take the foot back behind you, point it, and make sure that foot is straight in the straight line. Yeah, they're like, good. And then release it. We're going to do one more. Take it opposite. Point the toe, nice straight line. Good. And bring it back. And then, of course, the opposite. And now we're going to come into downward facing dog. So this just is a neutral pose to get the spine nice and long and straight. We just did a little back bend, so we want to Straighten it out a little bit, make sure you bend your knees. If you want to walk the dog, which is bending one knee and then the other, feel free to do that. Down. Good, and then look up at your thumbs, and we're gonna walk all the way up. Okay, so since we've been talking about balance, which Paula, of course, is gonna be doing a lot next week on balance, we're gonna work the muscles that support our balance, which is our inner thigh muscles, adductors, and our gluteus medius and minimus. Minimus, is it?
Minimus.
Minimus, right? So the maximus is the big one, max, okay? But the other ones are the ones on the side. They stabilize you this way, and these muscles stabilize you this way. Think about that. They're like a big beam that keeps you straight and strong. So hold on to the chair. We're gonna take the right foot out, flex it, and just hold it out there. Do you feel it right here? Go like this, you guys. Come on, you're feeling this muscle right here, right? This is the one we're working, so we're in and out a couple times, in and out. Now, as Justine would say, pretend when you go out this time, you're moving back in through mud. Oh, mud. Slow. Oh, yeah. That's when you're gonna get the adductor, the inside muscle. Yeah, slow. Good, and then release it. Okay. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna go to the other side. So left foot out, flex the foot. We're gonna hold it. Take your finger, I want you to make sure you can feel that. Oh yeah, we're working that. And then in, and then out. And next time you come in, slow like mud, slow. So you get that inner thigh to work. And slow. Good. And then let's just check it out. Okay, so now we're gonna add the Z's to it. So this gets a little bit more into both of those muscle groups. So now it's, the right foot goes out, we're flexing. We're gonna cross it in front. Good. Back. And slow. Now I want it slow. I see some of you going really lickety split, okay? Split. I want it slow. Because the slower you work, the more the muscles you're working, right? It's fast, it's not gonna get those muscles engaged. Slow like you're going through mud. Good. And then back in. Okay? So the next one, left foot out. Cross it in, out, cross it in back. And this might make you a little sore. I will tell you that. It might do that. Because these are muscles you probably haven't used in a while. And then move back. Good. And now we'll go like this. Okay, so marching, you guys, this is how I want you to march. I want you to march with your knees up. Okay, so we're not marching like this. Knees up. This gets the hip flexors. The hip flexors now are the muscles that make you walk, right? These muscles on the outside make you stand. These make you walk. So you want these to be strong. All right, so take your chair in front of you if it's not in front of you. Most of you have that. Okay, then we're going to take the legs out a little bit. Toes out, heels in. And then we're going to bend the knees. And let's look. This is really important alignment. Make sure when you look, your knees are over your middle toes. If they're not, and they're too far in, then just move those toes in a little bit. And we're just going to go in and out a couple times. Good, in and out. Keep your spine long, so don't lean forward, right? Just keep it tall, straight. Good. You feel those butt muscles working? Good. And when you come back up, we're going to heel toe it. Now we're going to do the balancing, and this time, we've done tree a million times together, but this time I do want you to keep kind of an imagination of what muscles we're working, okay? So it's going to be the right foot down, left foot's going to come up. Now, in order to get this leg to be straight and not out to the side like this, then this adductor muscle has to pull in strong, and this one's got to hold you upright. So that's the two muscle groups that we're working. One arm is going to reach up. Good. Now, only if it feels good, the other arm, you know you don't have to. You can kind of challenge yourself for not today. Leg out, and leg out. Okay, so to the right, strong right leg, make sure your toes are facing forward. We're going to take that other foot in step or calf. Now remember, you're not out on that hip, you got to pull it in. That adductor muscle's pulling you straight, and then one arm is up. Bring the other arm up. Okay, you guys, you got it. Strong legs, good, and release it. Good, let's shake it out. Let's shake it out. Okay, so we're going to do one more pose when we get down to the chair. So take it down. I did not do sun salutations today, you know that. Because we worked hard on other parts of us. Okay, so close your eyes, settle back. Maybe soften your face a little bit, notice your breath, even though we didn't do a lot of cardio stuff, I bet your breath's a little bit deeper. Gently open your eyes, and we're going to do the Charleston. So this is what we're gonna do, we're gonna scoot up a little bit, and we're gonna bring the knees together and the feet apart a little bit. So the knees are gonna touch. As soon as you do that, with your knees touching, do you feel a little stretch here? Okay, this is your IT band, right? So it's stretching across here, a little bit in your butt muscles. And now watch, your hands are, when your knees are together, your hands are crisscross. Then we're gonna open up, and when the arms are out, that we're edging the feet so the big toes are off, yeah? And when we come back together, we crisscross the opposite way. And then we go open, and we go close. We go open, and close, and now we just work coordination. And speed of your brain. Good. Go, go, yay. And let's stop. Everybody got it right? Yay, good. Okay, so now we're gonna go the other way. So now toes touch, knees wide. So when the knees are wide, we have our hands like that. When the knees come in, we crisscross. So even though this is a playful thing, we're really getting into the hip joints, the outer hip muscles and the inner hip muscles. Let's go faster if we can. And remember, it's the opposite hand on the top, if we can. And then stop. That was in midair. She's like, I don't know where I am. Okay. All right, good job, everybody. So let's sit back, bring the feet up, and just point and flex. Point and flex. Oh, yeah. Good. And then just kind of paddle like that. Very good. And then bring your hands up, and we're just going to swirl. Okay, so I want you to swirl your wrists, move your fingers, move your elbows, move your shoulders. Okay, and now just any movement that's going to feel good. You can do it a little bit to the side, just in the front, maybe up in the top. So this is how we want to be moving all the time. I want to see you in the grocery store line doing this, okay? If I see you, you're going to like, hi! That's what we want. All of this. So our shoulders are going to be so free, you guys. So big circles, big shoulders. We saw how much that really pays. It's going to pay big dividends when we get to the wall, and these shoulders can be nice and tall and straight and upright. Good. Close your eyes, settle in for a moment or two. And I just want you to just sit back and relax. Notice your breath. Oh, just notice if you're just a little looser. Maybe that's the adjective I'll give you today. Can you feel a little looser somewhere? Maybe turn your head with your eyes closed. Maybe turn one way, turn the other. See like, oh, is it different? Maybe up and down a couple times. And then just coming back to the center. And we're just going to be here just for a few minutes. Ending here with just that intention of hope. Because I've seen it in myself, and I've seen it in lots of people, that the body always wants to come back to that point of comfort. Okay? So if our bodies are misaligned, it really wants to come back. So really be encouraged. Knowledge is power. You can place your right hand on your heart. Place your left hand on top of your right. And then just feel the warmth of your heart, maybe that gentle beating of your heart. So you have one and only precious body you've lived in for all these years. And we're going to take such good care of this precious body, because this body is our vessel in life. It gets us around. If we are in discomfort, if we are in pain, then that little vessel is not very happy. So bring your hands to your heart, a little bow of your head, acknowledging your practice today. Thank you all so much for your dedication. Namaste.
Namaste.
And then turn to a neighbor. Namaste. And namaste. All right. You guys shake it out a little bit. Good. Was that useful? Did you learn some things? Yes. So the posture dot test really is not my invention. It came from this wonderful book. It's called Pain Free, a revolutionary method for stopping chronic pain. And it's by Pete Eagleskew. I highly recommend it. It is so full of such good practical advice of how we can get our skeletons, our muscles, and our bones all lined up again. You know what? And we get all the joints stacked up on top of each other, and we're gonna feel so much better because now we're not gonna have all this crookedness going on and the tweaking in our knee and the tweaking in our hips and our shoulders. If we can get everything lined up, that's why the dots help us to know exactly where we have maybe our challenges.